Now we're going to move on to another game that was revealed at the press conference with more details. Here with us now to talk about Detroit Become Human is David Cage. David Cage from Quantic Dream. Come on down, David. Good to see you.
Hey.
How's everything, my friend?
Good to see you.
Great to see you. Well, we're really excited to learn more about
It's a pleasure to be here.
Detroit. We saw it revealed for the first time at Paris Games Week with a trailer. You showed a little bit more content here.
Absolutely.
Is the game are people going to be playing it and seeing more of it at E3?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, we presented the game for the first time at Paris Games Week, and we introduced the first character called Kara that was inspired by the short that we did previously.
Yeah.
And here at E3, we wanted to come with, not another teaser, we wanted to come with gameplay footage. So we have a fully playable scene.
Wow.
And you know, with the types of game we make that are really story-driven, people often have the question, okay, I get it, but what is it like? How does it play? Yeah. And actually what we really wanted to do is just come and let the game answer the question.
Okay. Well, tell us, how does it play? I mean, your vision, you are always known for incredibly sort of deep stories with emotion tied to them, and people always wonder sort of what is the gameplay going to feel like. People saw obviously something, but how would you describe the style of gameplay in Detroit?
Well, it's very usual gameplay in a way, like you can explore your environment, you interact with your environment, you interact with other characters, but you also make decisions and critical choices, you face moral dilemmas. And for us, the heart of the experience is really that your choices tell the story. So it's really you become not only the actor, that was a little bit our motto, we just don't want the player to be just the actor of the experience, we want him to become like the co-writer. We want him to tell his own story through his decisions and through gameplay.
So, you're known obviously for narratives that move in a bunch of different directions and branch, and tell us about, the story for it and how sort of malleable is the narrative? How much can it change based on the player's choices?
Well, our ambition for Detroit is really to make it the most bending game ever created by our studio. So it's, the player is going to play different characters, so we will experience the story from different points of view. And yeah, it's really about all the choices that is going to make that are really going to tell different types of stories. So it's not just about having different endings. It's really about having different journeys, different decisions that will shape different endings, different outcomes from a person's story.
So we obviously saw things from sort of Paris perspective. Paris Games Week, how does that play out? Do you have you start the game from one person's perspective and then it shifts midway through, or you get to select who you play?
No, actually you play more than one character.
Okay.
And
interchanged as you sort of play?
And you switch from one scene to another, but we basically tell several stories at the same time, so they start probably in parallel, and they're going to interlace and tell the big story at some point.
Oh wow, interesting. So I just think of Grand Theft Auto, these other games where you have multiple protagonists, sort of their own stories.
And we really play with this idea of bending stories, and the scene that we're presenting here at E3 has, for example, 6 different endings.
Okay.
And even although it's the first scene of the game, it's going to have consequences much later in the game.
Yeah.
So this is really the type of experiences that we try to create.
So tell us, as you make choices, how many of those choices are sort of choices made through gameplay versus sort of, dialogue or button prompts? I mean, how are you making the choices in this game?
Well, you make the choices by interacting, just playing. Sometimes it can be talking to a character, sometimes it can be performing an action or making a decision. Right. So it's really as simple as that. It's very organic, very fluid. As you play, you tell the story. We were very interested in not telling the story just through cutscenes, but really letting the player tell the story by himself through gameplay and through his interactions.
Yeah. Now, we obviously got to see a scene today. You guys are working hard on this at Quantic Dream. Any sense of when this game will be? I'm sure it's probably not this year, but any sense of when we're going to get to play this game?
There's no announced release date for now.
Okay, well, I'm sure there's lots of work to be done. Tell us a bit about the acting and the actors that you have. Can you tell us anything about who's sort of starring in this game or who's in it?
Well, we have announced Kara, who is played by Valerie Curry.
Yep.
And here we're really happy to introduce Connor, our second character, played by an actor called Brian Deckert. Okay. And he's a really fantastic actor, delivered a great performance in the scene and across the game.
And you're doing the full-on kind of performance capture again with everyone?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really real avatars. We really scanned their faces and body and just, recorded their performance in performance capture.
Now, let me just ask you, story-wise, obviously, as we saw in the Paris Games Week trailer, this sense of sort of this android sort of coming into the world and robotics, and how does that all tie in?
Yeah, actually, Detroit is. We used to call it a neo-noir thriller,
Yeah.
and it's set in the near future in the city of Detroit, of course.
Yeah.
And in this world, technology has made available androids that look, move, speak exactly like human beings. So they have replaced humans in most common jobs, and they can be babysitters, they can be housemaids, they can be teachers, they can be many different jobs. So there are millions of them across the country. And when the story starts, some of them start to have a strange behavior.
Yeah.
Like some of them disappeared for no reason, others committed suicide, and others started to show signs of violence against humans.
Wow.
And as if they were overwhelmed with their own emotions, although they're not supposed to feel any emotion. So this character that we introduced in this scene called Connor is like a deviant hunter. So he's chasing these deviant androids and tries to understand what happens.
Wow. Well, it looks incredible, and we cannot wait to see more of Detroit Beyond Human.
Thanks.
I know everyone at Quantic Dream is working hard on it. David Cage, thank you
It
as
was a
always
pleasure. Thank
for
you.
stopping by, and
Thank you.
we always love to see what you and the Quantic Dream team are
Thanks.
doing. David Cage, everybody.